How's it going, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another Stuff in This video. Today we're going to be checking out this plastic welder from Amazon. I don't have any experience with any plastic welding, but recently I purchased a Scion XB armrest. And if you're familiar with the Scion XB armrest, you'll know that this is a plastic piece that sits inside the cup holder that the armrest actually attaches to. Well, on this particular armrest, I was able to get it for a good deal, and the reason why was because there's actually some damage to this. So if I just take this off, you can see that the plastic piece is actually broken. And this piece is pretty important because this is actually what holds the armrest to this piece and keeps it all nice and sturdy. So if this is broken, you're gonna have a really wiggly armrest. It actually fits pretty well. You can't really see, there's no really missing pieces or anything. Everything fits in there really nicely. So it should be a pretty easy repair. And this actually came in a kit, has a whole kit that it came with. So in the kit, you're actually gonna get this nice little case, protective case that it comes with. Inside the case is the actual gun itself. This just plugs into a standard wall outlet. Also inside of here, you're gonna get all of these different metal welding pieces. So there's actually 4 packages, all right? And they are various shapes and sizes, it looks like. The other thing you're gonna get is a set of little wire cutters so that once you have your pieces in place, you can actually cut them and make it flush to the surface, which is super cool. And essentially the way this works is on the end here, you have 2 openings. All right, this piece is gonna go in just like that. All right, and then now that you have this little metal piece attached to there, you would use this to then heat it up, and then you would take this and you'd be able to weld stuff. So for instance, on like a 90 degree, you would be able to go right into the 90, just kind of weld right into the little gaps there, just like that. For this particular one, I think what we're gonna need is more of a flat style instead of a pointed style. Let's see what this one looks like. This is, I think, what we're looking for, but let me just check what these ones look like. Wavy, this one is pointy style. And I think the one we're looking for is this one here, which is kind of a zigzaggy pattern. Now, in this bag, you're gonna get quite a bit of these, so you can weld quite a bit of stuff, actually. But you can see here, this one has more of like a wavy design. All right, so I'll show you this piece here, and essentially we're gonna just put this wavy piece, boop, 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 just like that, and try to weld this portion here. We'll do a couple more wavy pieces on the side here, and then maybe a couple here on top, and then also maybe a couple here on the side. So I have seen other videos where people are using additional plastic like zip ties and stuff like that to add. If there's pieces that are missing, you can actually use a zip tie, melt that down to fill in, and then sand the surface to get it nice and smooth. But because we're not missing any chunks, I think we'll be okay with just the little metal squiggly things here. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna plug in our welder, and we're gonna see how this goes. So I should probably read the instructions before I just start farting around with this. All right, so I guess once we pull, I want to touch this, but I don't want, I'm going to touch it real quick. Okay, it's not hot. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put this in here. All right, now this is something that I believe you don't need to preheat this. You just put it in, push the button, and then you're good to go. But we're about to find out right now exactly what the deal is. All right, so we got our pin in. All right, and now we're going to hold this down for 5 seconds. There's the light on. You can see the lights on. Oh, dang, look how hot that's getting. It's already smoking. I don't know if you can see, but it's actually smoking. Oh, dang, can you guys see how red that thing is getting? Look at that tip. That thing is red. All right, so now we're gonna go in here into the plastic. Here we go. Just like that. And then we're gonna release it. And check that out. We just put 1 pin in there. So I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me show you, see if we can get a focus here. So we put 1 pin in already. Check that out, guys. So there's 1 pin, and that was super easy. The pins are still a little warm, but not bad, guys, not bad. Now that we know what we're doing here, let's put a couple of these guys out. All right, and let's just kind of go through and do a couple more. And just like that, we got 2 in there. I like how easy this is. Third one here, let it heat up. Let me come in here and just just like that. Now, you see how when I put that one in, you're gonna wanna kinda let it hit and then kind of let it cool off a little bit before you fully release, all right? I probably should be outside because of the fumes from the plastic, but you know. And just like that, we got 4 pins in there. I think you guys can see those 4 pins. So we got the 4 in there already and it's feeling pretty good, guys. All right, and we got the middle one in there. So that's pretty solid, you guys. So now we're gonna do 1 more here and 1 more there. Now, depending on the thickness of the plastic, this goes into the plastic pretty easily. So if the plastic you have isn't very thick, you're gonna wanna be careful with how much pressure you actually apply to this thing because you don't wanna go too far in. I'm trying to think if I should go with the smaller squiggle and just do a couple. So I think what we'll do 1, 2 more verticals, and then over here we'll do 1, 2, 3 verticals. And again, guys, I'm using it on this armrest, but you know, technically you could use this on any type of plastic. So if you have any other things that are plastic that needs repairs, you can definitely use it on that. A lot of the stuff you see being repaired is normally trim pieces or little like components under the engine bay that happen to crack due to heat or just stress and stuff like that. You're able to fix them and not have to go and buy the whole new part. Some of these older cars, the parts are getting really hard to find, especially small plastic pieces. You might be able to find larger pieces like, you know, or larger components like engine components and stuff like that, mechanical parts, because a lot of times they stock that stuff. But when it comes to small trim pieces, especially on more rare cars or cars where they didn't make a lot of parts for them, you got to do stuff like this just to save the parts so you don't have to go out and, you know, try to buy new ones and stuff like that, because a lot of times there are no new ones. For instance, with this armrest, there's an OEM armrest for the Scion XB, and they don't make these anymore. So you used to be able to find them about a year ago. You could find them for about 120 bucks online, but since then they've kind of dried up and you can't really find them anymore. So you can find aftermarket ones on Amazon and eBay, but they're just not as good as the OEM ones. And if you can get OEM is always better. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through with our wire cutters that were provided for us. They're not very good, but they're free, so you can't really complain. All right, we'll go in here and snip these down. Oh, these wire cutters are horrible. These things are flying off when you cut them, so be very careful when you're doing this. It's not super flush to the plastic. It's kind of sticking out a little bit. So hopefully that's not a problem, but as you can see on, I don't know if you can see, there's a little sticker upper thingy there. Okay, now these wire cutters suck. So I'm gonna go to the garage and I'm gonna grab another pair of wire cutters because these ones they're just not good. So I'll be right back. I got some real wire cutters now. So you can see these are the ones you come with. You can see the size difference. I suggest if you're gonna be doing a lot of these things, get some ones with a little longer handles. It's gonna be easier to snip. Also, the bigger head's gonna make it easier to cut too. So let's see if we can get a little more flush with these ones here. Much better, much better. So again, I'll come here and show you what this looks like. This is gonna be a disaster, guys. These things are flying everywhere and my dogs are always in here. What I would suggest is you go outside and finish doing this. Don't do it inside your house. Definitely don't do it on your carpet because you're never gonna find these pins. So what I would suggest is maybe when you're gonna go to cut it, hold it like that and then face it down into the tray. Yeah, that's the move. So that's the move, guys. Not as easy as putting them in. We're getting there. Like I said, it's pretty prickly. So this is a little dangerous, you guys. Not gonna lie. I don't really like how much these things are sticking up because one little snag on here and you're definitely gonna draw some blood. So yeah, I guess the only downside of making it super secure is the fact that you have to go through and cut all of these afterwards. All right, we did it. Whew, it's getting hot in here. You can see we have all of our little edges cut now. But you can see they're sticking up quite a bit. But you can see what these are looking like as far as sticking wise, so You can see it, it just cut the tissue. All these little peaks are sticking up. So yeah, you just gotta do your best to get it as close as possible, but you can get them pretty close, but not as close as I would like. I must say, guys, the hold is pretty good. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna test fit this to make sure it's actually gonna fit. All right, so this is our armrest that goes in our XB, and the way this attaches is this goes into the cup holder, in the rear cup holder. This piece here goes under the seats, all right? And then once you have it connected under the seats, this piece will come in over the top like this and basically snap in, and that's gonna hold it in the cup holder just like that, all right? So that's gonna be a solid piece there. Then what ends up happening is this piece, all right, is gonna come over the top like such. All right, and we're rubbing. Okay, so it's actually a pretty tight fit on the inside of this. It's actually a pretty tight fit, and I'm hitting on a couple of these things. Maybe if you have different wire cutters, so instead of these type, like the ones that are like, they look like this, those kind of style, that might be a little bit better. We might be able to make this work. Let's see. I mean, once it's in there pretty good. I'm gonna try to whack this thing in there and see if I can get it to go. It's actually pretty close, guys. I just need about a ½ an inch more. Almost there. And I think we got it now, guys. I think we got it now. Cool. All right, guys. So we have a repair, and that feels pretty solid, you guys. Again, with the metal pieces sticking out, this is a flush fit, so it's kind of slides inside of there. So we had to, you know, whack it a little bit as you just saw, but we were able to get it in there, and we basically repaired our armrest. Now I'm gonna try to pull this out now so I can get it installed. Although now it's not gonna come out because I whacked it so hard. Oh man, this thing's not gonna come out now. We got it. Okay, it's out. All right, guys, so I would say that was pretty successful. You saw how easy it was to apply the, I don't know what you call these, the little metal thingies to get it to stick together, the welded pieces to weld this together. That was really easy to install. Biggest thing I'm gonna say is get yourself a good set of wire cutters, because the closer you can get to the surface, I think the better you're gonna be. If you have a piece where the clearance is not really an issue, then this is probably not gonna be a problem. But the fact that these are all sticking out like this is highly dangerous because the edges are super sharp. So if this piece was anywhere where you were needing to like get your arm in or like put your hand in on anything, you definitely cut yourself. Like 100% guaranteed you're gonna cut yourself on any of these edges. So what I would recommend is just get either a pair of these that can get down all the way to the surface, or when you're done, you're gonna have to take a Dremel, and then you're gonna have to come through and just smooth all these out, because this is highly dangerous. Not bad, good repair, easy to do. Again, fixing the actual item itself, super easy and actually quite a bit of fun when you're actually doing it. All right, guys, so that was the plastic welder by WRDLOSY, and you can pick this up on Amazon for $16.99. I will put a link down below in the description, so if you want to scoop one of these up, you can. And yeah, I think you'll be really happy with the product, especially for the price, under 20 bucks. A nice tool that you can use for multiple things around your house, car repairs, home repairs, anything with plastic. Instead of throwing it out, you can fix it and save a lot of your plasticware, which is super cool. All right, guys, hopefully the video was helpful and informative. If you liked the video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to hit the bell so you get notified every time we put out a new video. All right, and until next time, guys, see ya.